Welcome to qnawire.
What's up, StatCats? In this video, we are given an example and we are asked to perform either a Scheffé or a Tukey test. So this is the example we're provided. So considering we have uneven sample sizes, we're going to want to perform a Scheffé test. So this is the formula to calculate our test statistic. So let's go ahead to the Excel spreadsheet where I have the raw data entered. So I have entered the data and performed an ANOVA because the example we're given, we are told that the differences are, there's already a significant difference, so I just went ahead and did the ANOVA test. So I think the first thing we should do is calculate our critical value. So our critical value is found by taking the critical value from our F-test and multiplying it by the degrees of freedom between groups. So that is our critical value. And now we are going to calculate the test statistic. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pair these categories up. So cars, I'm just going to use 1, SUV will be 2, and trucks will be 3. So I'm going to pair cars and SUVs, SUVs and trucks, and then trucks and cars. And the first thing I'm going to do to calculate the test statistic is I'm going to do the differences in means squared. So I'm going to do equals parentheses, and I'm going to go to the mean of cars because that's 1, and subtract the mean of SUVs. I'm going to close the parentheses and I'm going to square it. So I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of these. Alright, so that's the differences in our means squared. And if we go back to our formula, now we have to do the variance within and multiply it by 1 divided by our sample sizes. Okay, so let's go back to our Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to do, okay, first I'm going to calculate that 1 over n nonsense. So let's do over here, let's do equals 1 over, and then n will be the sample size for car. So 1 over 5 plus 1 over the sample size for SUVs. Oh, I have this over a lot. Hang on. Okay. So let me just type that in again. Car. Okay, so I'm going to do that for the rest of them. So 1 over sample size for SUV plus 1 over sample size for trucks. And then last one. Okay, that's just going to make it easier for us when we do our numerator divided by our denominator. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our mean square within group, and we're going to multiply it by that value we just calculated. And then now we can calculate our test statistic really easily. So we just take our numerator divided by our denominator. And I can just pull that formula down, or not. Okay, so we've calculated our critical values and our test statistics. So let's go back to our whiteboard and fill them in. So our critical value was 8.52. Hang on. Yep, okay, just making sure. 8.52. And our test statistic for cars and SUVs was 2.1, and for SUVs and trucks it was 17.64, and for cars and trucks it was 27.92. Okay, so in order to know which of these is significant, we want to ask which of these is larger than our critical value. So is 2.1 greater than 8.52? No. Is 17 greater than 8? Yes. And is 27 greater than 8? Yes. So SUVs and trucks, so the differences between those means are different, and the difference between the means of cars and trucks are different. So to summarize this, we're going to say there is sufficient evidence to conclude a difference in mean cost to drive exists between hybrid cars and trucks and between SUVs and trucks. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you learned a lot, and I'll see you next time.